Hi, I'm Scott Larson, Coordinator of Plant Operations, and welcome to Chapter 7, Inventories and Inspections. So what is an inventory and why is it important? An inventory provides you as a building supervisor or a custodian a list of items and quantities that you have in your supply room. Performing inventories ensures that you have adequate supplies to be able to perform your duties on a daily basis. It also allows you to manage the supplies that you've ordered or need to order for the upcoming month. So what are some of your responsibilities with supply inventories? The supervisor should maintain a supply list. With that list, they will have an accurate, detailed count of which supplies they have, which supplies they need, in dealing with their AA that they order on a monthly basis. The inventories should not only be maintained from the main supply room, but they should also be kept from your supply closets throughout the building. Just because a supply isn't in your main supply closet, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It has to be accounted for as well. Supply and budget. As a building supervisor or your building supervisor should know exactly how much supply money they have at the beginning of the year, but also maintain that number as they buy supplies throughout the year. It's an important part of the program since you're managing that operation, you're managing what comes in, what your usage is, and you need to know the whole process. How you work with your AA in terms of the person who purchases these items for you is extremely important. You should only order what you need. It's okay to have a little extra supply on hand in case of an emergency, but you shouldn't order excess amount of supplies because you'll run out of money in the end of the year and have problems with purchasing things that you need when you get closer to the end of the year. There's nothing worse than going to order some paper towel or toilet paper for the last month and finding out that you don't have any money left, but you've got 10 cases of cream cleanser that will not get used in a 2-year period of time. So it's extremely important that you focus on this, take this task of understanding what you have on supply in hand on a daily basis. So there's a couple of types of supply ordering. There's a passive order, a monthly order, and then for high schools only, there's a vendor managed inventory program. And we're going to talk about each of these right now. So every school has a passive order. The passive order is created ahead of the budget year. The passive orders are created in May and they're made for the entire school year. The 3 main items in a passive order are paper towel, toilet paper, and light bulbs. Each school lays out their passive so they know what they will get on a monthly basis for those 3 key custodial items. One important thing to note with passive orders is you can always reduce your passive at any time, but you cannot add to it. This means if you realize that you had a number of snow days in a particular month and you have extra amounts of toilet paper and paper towel, you can reduce a couple of cases in your upcoming passive order. On the other hand, if you realize that you don't have enough supplies of paper towel and toilet paper to make it to another month, those items cannot be added to the passive. They will have to be added to your normal monthly supply order. The easiest way to track this, the building supervisor can either get a printout from their administrative assistant, or they can create a simple form like the one you see on the screen to track the amount of each that they have ordered for the entire year, and then they can reduce or add, or reduce rather, as needed. Monthly supply orders. These orders are for items, everything except the passive items that we just mentioned, and those 3 items that actually if you do need more because you're running short. But these things are for mops, J-Fill cleaning chemicals, brooms, dustpans, buffer pads, you name it. A monthly order should be created by the building supervisor, and once the order is placed within the Focus system, they are delivered from the Fairfax County Public Schools warehouse within 1 to 2 weeks. Again, on the screen you'll see a sample monthly order, a simple created sheet that the building supervisor can provide to their administrative assistant on a monthly basis so they know what to put into the Focus system. VMI program. The VMI program is for high schools only. VMI stands for Vendor Managed Inventory. Our current vendor for this program is Dacon. Each supply room in the vendor managed program has supply shelves with labels and tags with a description of each item, a quantity of a high and low quantity, and name of the product. Each month, a detailer from Dacon will come to your school, and they will take an inventory. They will register from the high and low to determine what's needed. They will place the order for you, and then within 1 to 2 business days, the school will receive the delivery directly from Dacon. The Dacon delivery person will then stock the shelves, not only deliver it to the site, but they're required to place these items on the shelf. There are a number of items that may not be as your scheduled items that you may need to acquire. If those items that aren't on the regular detailed list, you contact your plant operations monitor and place the order with them. These are called non-VMI items, and the plant operations monitor will place those orders for you. Inventories, equipment inventories. An equipment inventory is another important inventory which is critical to a custodial operation. All FCPS equipment is affixed with an asset tag. The asset tag is put into our asset tracker system, and it lists important information about the equipment type, the model, the serial number, and the date that the piece of equipment was put into the system. Shown on your screen is a copy of a sample equipment inventory page. The building supervisor should maintain a sheet like this, similar to this, so that they have an understanding of what equipment is in their system and any problems that they have with it. It's important that if there's issues with the equipment, that the individual that puts in a work order to get this equipment repaired. Again, this sheet would be helpful in that, because when a work order is placed for a broken down piece of equipment, it's important to have the asset tag number, the description of what type of equipment it is, and the problem with the equipment. If the building supervisor has this inventory sheet handy, they can readily pull that information up and put it in the work order as they place the work order. Now we're going to discuss a little bit about inspections. There's a number of types of inspections that we perform in FCPS. Some of them are performed by your building supervisor or custodian 2 or assistant building supervisor. Some of them are performed by us here at plant operations. They're essential part of our jobs. It's a system of checks and balances to ensure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in terms of cleaning. Remember, it's important that we're cleaning for the health and safety of the students here at FCPS, and it's important that we are doing it effectively. Inspections can help with that process. Inspections should be used to improve the areas of the building. Inspections can also be used as an evaluation, and this can be of a custodian. This can be good or it can be bad. There are 3 main types of inspections. There's an informal or mini inspection, there's a detailed inspection, and then there's the grounds inspection. We'll talk a little bit about each of them. Informal or mini inspection is performed by the building supervisor or their designee. For this inspection, supervisor walks a specific area of the building, inspect to determine if grounds or the area they're inspecting are being properly maintained. Notes should be taken during these inspections. A detailed plan should be created with the custodian in charge of that area to make sure any corrections are made to any issues that were found during the inspection. Plant operations monitors also perform mini inspections, 2 mini inspections a year. The inspection process for plant operations is 2 mini inspections and 1 annual inspection. 1 mini inspection is before the main inspection to help with the supervisor and the custodians to understand where they are before the main inspection. The annual building inspection is an entire building inspection, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And then they do a follow-up mini inspection. This is an inspection that goes over areas of problems that may have been found in the annual inspection to see that those areas were corrected. So a detailed inspection. This is an inspection performed again by the supervisor or their designee. The inspector walks the entire building or grounds. The inspection is again to improve the cleaning of the building or to ensure that all cleaning is happening appropriately. Notes should be taken, detailed notes should be taken, and a detailed plan to make corrections to the items found during this inspection should be gone over with the custodian who's responsible for that area so they can make the needed corrections. A detailed inspection for plant operations section is the annual inspection, which I discussed a moment ago. This is where the plant operations monitor will walk with the building supervisor, go through the entire building and do the entire main inspection. This inspection is a required inspection by the Fairfax County Schools School Board. This inspection is sent to the principal, to the assistant of the RAS or regional assistant superintendents, and also the monitor who performed the inspection. One note on inspections, although they are there to make corrections, we want to ensure that you realize it's a snapshot in time. And there's a lot of factors why things may be dirty or not the way they should be. It could be due to long extended absenteeisms. It could be due to shorthanded. It could be disciplinary problem with a particular custodian. There are numbers of reasons why an inspection might be below average or below acceptance level in certain occasions. But we realize it's a snapshot in time, and it's the ability to make the corrections on these inspections, to use the inspection not as a negative, but to use it as a tool for improvement and use it in a positive way to help improve your operation. Daily maintenance inspections should also be conducted. As a custodian in FCPS, you're responsible for many tasks. You wear a number of hats in this organization, from security by securing and unsecuring the building on a daily basis. Greeter, while you're greeting the students as they walk through the hallways. Obviously, all the custodian obligations that you have, but also to ensure the well-being of the building. And that means doing these maintenance inspections by looking around, opening our eyes and seeing what's going on in the building. Some of these things that you come across aren't things that you can personally take care of, but you can make note of it, get it to your supervisor so they can create a work order so that the other professionals who need to perform these tasks can do so. So during these inspections, when you go into a restroom, you should be looking for leaky faucets, checking if lights are out, ceiling tiles, any leaks, those types of things. Some of those corrections you can make, some may require a work order. So other things are graffiti. If you notice graffiti, whether it be in the restroom or outside or in the hallways. Again, some of those items you can take care of with a simple graffiti wipe. Other things may be more involved. But we should keep our eyes open and make sure we report what we find. Classroom, same thing. You're looking for any issues in the classroom. If there's a restroom and it's leaking, if there's ceiling tiles that are dirty, moldy, and also fluorescent bulbs that are out, so that those can be replaced. Hallways, any issues with windows, any locking issues, any ripped carpets, number of things that can be found. Remember, we want to be proud of the building we work in, and by identifying these issues and reporting them to get them fixed for a healthy, safe environment for all is an important part of our job. And finally, another inspection is the daily grounds inspection. When looking at grounds, we're looking for debris or items that are trip hazards, slip hazards, and things like that. Remember, the playground is for the children to go and play and have a good time and get their energy out. We have to make sure that the mulch is raked up underneath the swings, so that if a child falls off the swing, they don't hurt themselves. Or hurt themselves as badly. That's what that ground material is. But it's important that we make sure that it's constantly maintained and raked up, ensuring that there's not trash on the fields, ensuring anything that needed to be reported, pest control issues, etc. Make sure that we report these things as quickly as possible. Another important inspection we perform is a roof drain inspection. The roof drains should be inspected by the school personnel on a monthly basis. If you are an elementary school or a middle school that doesn't have a building engineer, it is the responsibility of the custodial staff to check these roof drains on a monthly basis. If you have a building engineer, it's the building engineer's responsibility. But one thing we say that even if it's not the custodian's responsibility because there's an engineer, checking on it is not going to hurt. It actually may benefit you, because at the end of the day, if the inspection doesn't happen and there is a roof leak at 2 a.m., the custodial staff is going to be the one that's called in to perform the cleanup from that incident. So it's always better to be safe than sorry and go and do that extra check. One extra check of a roof drain has never hurt. So what are you looking for when you're checking the roof drains? First and foremost, you're looking for any evident blockage, any leaves, twigs, sticks, or anything that's blocking water from steadily flowing down the drain. Immediately remove those items and get them out of the way to allow the drain to function appropriately. Additionally, you're looking to see if the cover that prevents that stuff, that debris, from getting all the way into the drain, making sure that those covers are first in place, B, not broken, or any cracks or things that need to be replaced. Again, a work order can be put in place to address those. Finally, you're looking for any standing water, especially standing water near those drains. If the drain is clear and free and clear of debris, yet there's a puddle of water sitting right on top of it, there's obviously an issue. Most likely the drain has gotten clogged up and needs to be snaked. So a work order can go in play and put in place so that the maintenance technician can come out and take care of it. When you're doing the inspections, we'll show you on the next slide, there is a monthly drain inspection form that you should submit to your plant operations monitor. It's pretty basic form, lets us know that you've been up there, done your roof drain inspection, and it also lets us know if there's any active work order in place, so your plant operations monitor can check on it to help make sure that these issues are addressed. The plant operations monitors are also required to go on your roofs twice a year to inspect. So it's important, again, not to use this document as a monthly form that you sit at your desk and fill out. Check the drains for your own make sure that your drains are clear at your school, but also we will have a monitor go up there as well on an annual basis. Now, this is a monthly requirement, But sometimes you may receive, or your building supervisor may receive an email from your plant operations monitor stating, hey, due to the storm coming up, we have a storm on the way, go and check your roof drains. Again, especially when we get into the fall season, when leaves are falling, it's important to make sure those drains are clear. So there may be occasions where you go up on the roof more than one time. Sorry. So inspection forms. Of all the inspections we've talked about, there's a form for each particular inspection. We have the cafeteria, the kitchen, your restroom, classroom, grounds, complete building inspection, equipment inspection, and monthly roof drain inspection. These forms are put in place to be a tool to you, and hopefully one that makes your job easier when performing the inspection. Each inspection gives you the ability to place comments, whether the issue has been addressed, and to comment on things that need to be corrected. If you don't have copies of these inspection forms or need some, make sure to contact your plant operations monitor so they can provide them to you. Thank you, and that concludes Chapter 7.